10 unhealthy eating habits that are extremely detrimental to your health and brain. Processed food overconsumption. Processed foods are frequently high in harmful fats, sugar, salt, and preservatives while being low in nutrition. Processed food consumption can result in weight gain, inflammation, and an increased risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Processed foods can also have an adverse effect on brain function and raise the risk of cognitive decline. Processed foods' high quantities of sugar and harmful fats can cause inflammation in the brain, resulting in cognitive impairment and an increased risk of depression and anxiety. Furthermore, the poor nutrient content of these foods can result in a deficiency of important vitamins and minerals needed for optimum brain function. Consuming a lot of added sugar. Consuming a lot of sugar can cause weight gain, inflammation, and an increased risk of chronic diseases including diabetes and heart disease. Sugar is frequently added to processed foods and beverages, and excessive sugar consumption can have a deleterious influence on brain function and increase the risk of cognitive decline. A high sugar intake might impair cognitive function and memory. It can also cause inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain, which can impair cognitive ability. Excess sugar consumption can also deplete neurotransmitters like serotonin, increasing the risk of depression and anxiety. Sodium overconsumption. Sodium overload can cause high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, and kidney damage. Sodium is frequently added to processed and packaged foods as a preservative or flavor enhancer, making it difficult to keep track of how much sodium we consume. High salt consumption can have a deleterious impact on brain function, resulting in cognitive decline and memory impairment. It can also promote inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain, increasing the risk of sadness and anxiety. Consuming trans fats. Trans fats are an unsaturated lipid that is commonly found in processed and packaged meals, as well as fried dishes and baked goods. Trans fat consumption can cause weight gain, inflammation, and an increased risk of chronic diseases like heart disease and diabetes. Trans fats can potentially impair brain function and increase the likelihood of cognitive decline. Trans fats can affect brain function, causing memory and learning problems. Furthermore, a diet heavy in these harmful fats might cause brain inflammation, increasing the risk of cognitive impairment and dementia. Consuming trans fats. Trans fats are an unsaturated lipid that is commonly found in processed foods. Alcohol overconsumption. Alcoholism can cause liver disease, heart disease, cancer, and other chronic health concerns. It can also impair brain function and raise the risk of cognitive decline. Alcohol can trigger brain inflammation, which can contribute to cognitive impairment and memory loss. It can also cause mood swings and other emotional problems by disrupting the balance of neurotransmitters in the brain. Alcoholism can also deplete the body of key vitamins and minerals needed for optimum brain function. Meal skipping. Skipping meals can cause fatigue, poor concentration, and overeating later in the day. When you skip meals, your metabolism slows, which leads to weight gain. Meal skipping can also have a negative impact on brain function and contribute to cognitive impairment. Skipping meals can cause blood sugar levels to plummet, resulting in weariness, irritation, and poor focus. Skipping meals can deplete the body of important nutrients over time, resulting in cognitive impairment and an increased risk of sadness and anxiety. Caffeine overconsumption. Caffeine is a stimulant present in beverages such as coffee, tea, soda, and energy drinks. Caffeine overdose can cause jitteriness, anxiety, and difficulty sleeping. Excessive red meat consumption. Saturated fats in red meat are high, which can lead to weight gain, elevated cholesterol, and an increased risk of heart disease. Excessive consumption of red meat can also have a deleterious impact on brain function and raise the risk of cognitive decline. According to research, a high consumption of red meat can contribute to a deterioration in cognitive function and memory. Furthermore, a high-fat diet can induce inflammation in the brain, increasing the risk of cognitive impairment and dementia. Consuming a low-fiber diet. A low-fiber diet can cause digestive problems such as constipation, as well as increasing the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. A low-fiber diet can also have a negative impact on brain function and raise the risk of cognitive decline. Fiber is necessary for the maintenance of healthy gut bacteria, which play an important role in brain function. A lack of fiber in the diet can cause an imbalance in gut bacteria, resulting in brain inflammation and impaired cognitive performance. Consuming an excess of refined carbohydrates. White bread, pasta, and pastries are heavy in sugar and low in nutrients, resulting in weight gain, inflammation, and an increased risk of chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. Excessive consumption of refined carbohydrates can also have a negative impact on brain function and raise the risk of cognitive decline. A high sugar intake might impair cognitive function and memory. It can also cause inflammation and oxidative stress in the brain, which can impair cognitive ability. Furthermore, a diet heavy in refined carbs might cause a bacterial imbalance in the gut, triggering inflammation in the brain and compromising cognitive performance. Consuming processed foods, large amounts of added sugar and sodium, trans fats, alcohol, skipping meals, consuming too much coffee, ingesting too much red meat, eating a low-fiber diet, and consuming too many refined carbohydrates can all have a bad influence on your body and brain. To enhance general health and cognitive performance, it is critical to make appropriate dietary choices and integrate a balanced diet. What should we do now? Avoid consuming processed foods. To avoid processed foods, shop along the perimeter of the grocery store, where you'll find fresh produce, lean proteins, and dairy. Make it a habit to study ingredient labels and select foods with the fewest added sugars, sodium, and artificial additives. As the foundation of your diet, choose entire foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Limit your intake of added sugar and sodium. To avoid additional sugars and salt, consider foods with less added sugars and fresh or frozen fruits and vegetables over canned fruits and vegetables with added sugar and sodium. Instead of depending on purchased seasoning mixes or sauces that are often heavy in sodium and sugar, cook your meals at home with herbs and spices for taste. Trans fats should be avoided. Checking ingredient labels for hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils, which are frequent sources of trans fats, can help you avoid them. Instead, use healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, almonds, and seeds. Reduce your alcohol consumption. Limiting your alcohol usage can help you avoid liver damage, weight gain, and other health problems. Men should have no more than 2 alcoholic drinks per day, and women should have no more than 1. Don't miss meals. To avoid skipping meals, try to schedule your meals ahead of time and bring healthy snacks with you on the go. Eat 3 balanced meals every day, including a range of complete foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. Caffeine consumption should be limited. Instead of coffee or energy drinks, choose decaf or herbal teas to reduce caffeine consumption. If you must drink caffeine, try not to exceed 400 milligrams per day, which is about comparable to 4 cups of coffee. Eat lean proteins. Instead of red meat, choose fish, chicken, beans, and lentils for lean proteins. These meals are high in protein and low in saturated fat, making them better for your body and brain. Consume a high-fiber diet. Include plenty of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes in your meals to consume a high-fiber diet. These fiber-rich meals can help encourage healthy gut bacteria, which are necessary for brain function. Select whole grains. Choose whole grains such as whole grain bread, brown rice, quinoa, and oats. These meals are abundant in fiber and nutrients, and they can help manage blood sugar levels, which is essential for cognitive function. Limit your intake of refined carbohydrates. To reduce refined carbohydrates, use whole grain alternatives to white bread, spaghetti, and pastries. These meals are high in fiber and nutrients, and they can help control blood sugar levels, lowering the risk of cognitive loss. Making healthy meal choices, in conclusion, can help protect your body and brain from the negative effects of the 10 bad food habits we examined. To support optimal health and cognitive function, choose whole, nutrient-dense foods, minimize added sugars, sodium, and harmful fats, and focus on keeping a balanced and diverse diet.